Welcome to the first episode of Movie News, my beautiful geekies. This is a brand new series on the channel which I'm going to try out doing weekly and having some news gathered and make a big blockbuster video for you talking about the news that came out this week. This week was very heavy in Star Wars and DC, so you basically know the topics of today's discussion. And thank you so much for all of those who voted. We are going to test this out for about a month and there will be 4, maybe 5 videos and see how it works out. If it doesn't, I'll just end it, or maybe even I'll try and do small videos every time a news comes out that I deem worthy of talking about. So let's get right into our first topic, which was pretty big, and that is Deadline reported that a Joker Origins movie is in the works at Warner Brothers and DC. Todd Phillips, the director of Hangover, is co-writing the script with Scott Silver, who wrote 8 Mile. Phillips is also attached to direct, but the big thing is this movie will be produced by Martin fucking Scorsese, one of the biggest, greatest, most masterful filmmakers to ever existed and to still exist in our day and age. The Joker Origins movie is set to be the first film under a new banner yet to be named by Warner Brothers and DC, and this will expand the canon of DC Comics properties and create unique storylines with different actors playing different characters, also included within the DCEU, but this will be something different from the DCEU. Deadline also claims that the intention is to make a gritty and grounded hard-boiled crime film set in the early 80s, Gotham City, that isn't meant to feel like a DC movie much as one as Scorsese's films of that era, like Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and King of Comedy. I personally find this very interesting, and I am not saying no to this because of Martin freaking Scorsese. I am also not saying yes because DC is just shuffling everything together. They don't seem like they have a cohesive plan. Do they have one? Maybe, I don't know. I'm saying they do not seem to have a cohesive plan, because even at Comic-Con this past July, they said they were going to stop for now, they were going to focus on Justice League, and after that, they were going to get back into it and schedule their movie slate and all that, and focus on the DCU. But now with this and other stuff we'll talk about in this video, it seems like they don't have a clear direction or even a clear trust in their DCU. So much so that they also announced at Comic-Con Flashpoint. What could Flashpoint imply? I don't know. Flashpoint the movie could even have nothing to do with Flashpoint the storyline. But I find this interesting and I am hopeful because I think they could do these Elseworlds type of movies that we have in one-shots or in graphic novels like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Earth 1, like The Killing Joke, like Joker. I mean, it's a fascinating task that they're putting themselves into, but it's one that could very well pay off. We could even see one day The Dark Knight Returns in film. We could even see one day Red Sun in film. We could even see one day Kingdom Come. We could even see that be or not part of the DCU, but we could see it. We could see amazing stories from the DC lineup and the DC chronology being made into film and not be part of the DC cinematic universe. We could have a whole entire different universe of just solo films set in the Flashpoint Paradox universe. That is fascinating to me. This news still has a lot to give to us for us to exactly speculate on how good, how bad the movie could be, who should or shouldn't play the Joker, what this movie will be about. Truly, would it really be about the Joker and be like Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, King of Comedy? I don't know, but the thing is also about Martin Scorsese, the only element that makes me excited about this. Todd Phillips directing this movie, to me, it doesn't work. But Martin Scorsese producing this is fascinating and it makes me want to see what this unfolds. But also we gotta take this into account. Martin Scorsese producing this film could mean everything, or it could mean nothing. Because he can be a Steven Spielberg producing Transformers type of producer, and that is, yeah, take my money, then give me my money back when this movie kills it at the box office. And according to the last night, it doesn't exactly kill it, so I don't know if Spielberg will even produce the next Transformers movie. Or he could be a Michael Bay producing Friday the 13th or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films. Now, I'm not saying Michael Bay producing those films is good or bad. We are not discussing that. I'm just saying he can be an involved producer or just a guy who gives the studio or the filmmakers the money and then sits on his ass on the couch enjoying life like the great filmmaker he is because he just gave money and he's going to make his money back. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying for perspective that here we have two examples of one not so very involved producer and on a very much involved producer in the productions they take on. But what do you think? Are you interested in this? Are you hopeful? Are you doubtful? What do you think and what do you want to see from this Joker Origins movie? Do you even want to see it? Do you think Todd Phillips is the right choice, or who would you cast as the director for this film? Let me know in the comments below, and let's go to our second topic of the day. Michael K. Williams, most known for his role as Omar in The Wire, is reported to have been cut from the Han Solo film. While production continues on the Lucasfilm's upcoming Han Solo movie with new director Ron Howard, Michael K. Williams, who was hired by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the original directors, will not be continuing. Williams has told Deadline that he was unable to continue after reshoots overlapped with other projects. He said, "I felt great about what I created with the directors that I worked with. It is what it is. We created a kick-ass character in my opinion. I'm proud of it. When Ron Howard got hired to finish out the film, there were some reshoot issues that needed to be done in regards to my character, in order for it to match the new direction which the producers wanted Ron to carry the film in. And that would have required me on a plane a month ago to London to Pinewood to do reshoots. But I'm here on location in Africa. It's scheduling. I'm not going to be back on the market until the end of November after Hap and Leonard, which is a very good show that you should watch. And for them to wait that long for me, that would have pushed back the release date, which I believe is in May 2018. They wanted me now, I couldn't go. So they had to clip. And there's no information regarding as if Williams' half-human, half-animal role has been recast or deleted entirely from the film. But Williams, having said all this, he doesn't rule out a return to a galaxy far, far away, because he also says that he left with a great taste in his mouth, and he hopes that the creators, Kathleen Kennedy, Phil Lord, Chris Miller, Ron Howard, whoever, also left with a great taste in their mouth from having worked with Williams. And I hope it's true. I cannot speculate anymore about this. I think it sucks. I would have loved to see Michael K. Williams in Han Solo, be him under prosthesis or makeup, or even being a CGI character and just hearing his voice. I would have loved to see him because I still remember the announcement and me being very excited to see him in this movie because he's an uberly talented actor. And whatever sucky role he had in Assassin's Creed, he was great on screen as an actor. And there's a lot that we could talk about Han Solo. I could make an entire series of videos for 1 month talking about the problems or issues with the Han Solo movie. I really like Ron Howard as a director. I just think the timing, scheduling might not work. His last few movies have not been adored by the public. I think Rush is an underrated, magnificent masterpiece, and in Heart of the Sea, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie, nothing more than that, but a good movie nonetheless. But personally, I am 50-50 on this. I don't like that K. Williams left, but also I can't lose my excitement for the Han Solo movie by nature, but I can also tell you I'm not excited for it. I am hopeful more than anything, and that actually fits being that it is Star Wars. Do you think this was a good choice, a bad choice? Do you think they could have worked around it and maybe have Michael K. Williams come back later and just shoot around the scenes with this character? Do you think this movie will go well under Ron Howard's wing? Let me know all that in the comments below. Let me know what are you expecting for Han Solo, and do you think they will actually move the release date to December? I do think so, and I do hope so. I want Star Wars on Christmas. I love Star Wars, and I would have Star Wars every day, a new movie coming out every day, but I don't need for 2 movies to come out in the same year, if I'm honest with you. THR is reporting that Deadpool actor Ed Skrein, who played Ajax in the first Deadpool movie, is in negotiations to be cast in the new Hellboy reboot, playing Major Ben Damio, a rugged military member of the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense who, due to a supernatural encounter, can turn into a jaguar when angered or in pain. David Harbour of Stranger Things fame will of course play the titular hero Hellboy, and he will be joined by Ian McShane, who will play Hellboy's adopted father, Professor Trevor Brotherholm. Mila Jovovich is set to play the Blood Queen, the villain of the film, with Sasha Lane as Alice Monaghan. Neil Marshall would direct this film, and it comes from a script from Andrew Cosby, Christopher Golden, and the creator of Hellboy himself, Mike Mignola, and it is said that this movie will start shooting in September. I personally am very excited for this Hellboy reboot. I think Neil Marshall is an extremely underrated director. Watch Centurion. Most people will direct you to The Descent, a movie that everybody loves. I really did honestly not think much of it, but Centurion is a fantastic action set piece of a film, and he directed Blackwater, if I'm not mistaken, as well as some other very good episodes of Game of Thrones. Neil Marshall is a very greedy but also very grounded in reality director, and I think he can do wonderful things with Hellboy. I think the cast so far is fantastic. And Ed Skrein has proved that he is a good actor before. Even in that sucky Transporter movie, he was fine in it. He was way above that material, even though we can't call his performance good. But I think this could be a very good role for him. I don't know much about the character he's going to play, to be honest. I have never read much of the Hellboy comics, but I am damn interested, and I think this movie is shaping up to be something spectacular. But what do you think? Are you trusting this Hellboy reboot movie? Do you like the previous ones? Do you think they should have gone with a third one directed by Guillermo del Toro starring Ron Perlman? Do you trust that this script from Mike Mignola will be more faithful to the comics? Let me know what your thoughts, and let me know if you would cast someone else other than Ed Skrein in the comments below. Can't wait to discuss this with you. And let's talk about a small movie that I am very excited for two reasons. The Hollywood Reporter brings word that Pedro Pascal, so that's now 3 reasons, will co-star with Denzel Washington in the follow-up of The Equalizer 2. And Pedro Pascal can be seen next in Kingsman: The Golden Circle, another movie I'm very much excited for, and The Equalizer 2 is set to debut on September 14th, 2018, with director Antoine Fuqua returning, as well as the screenwriter Richard Wank returning from the first film, with Washington set to reprise his role. So you can maybe guess why I'm excited for this movie. I love the first one. Very small, intimate, personal movie about revenge and about justice, with Denzel Washington on a killer role, quite literally, and I'm excited because Denzel Washington is returning and Antoine Fuqua is returning. This man has never directed a sequel to a film of his, and he's a fantastic director. Magnificent Seven, Olympus Has Fallen, Training Day, Shooter, great, solid, small or big movies that he does a great job with, and I'm super excited that he has returned for this movie. Very similarly to Kingsman: The Golden Circle, Matthew Vaughn, who has never directed the sequel, these two directors, if they say yes and do come back for a sequel to their own movie, I think it's a special case. I gotta think that. I gotta believe that they see something in this project that brings them the liberty to be creative and to do something with the material like they did well in the first movie. But what do you think? Do you like Pedro Pascal as an actor? Are you excited that Denzel Washington is coming back for this role? Do you like the first Equalizer? And what do you think of Antoine Fuqua as the director in general? Because Pedro Pascal is set to play the villain in this one, and I am damn curious to see what he does with this, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below, beautiful geekies. Let's go back to a galaxy far, far away with 2 brand new vehicles having been revealed for the First Order in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Here we have the 2 vehicles, and the first one is the AT-M6, otherwise known as the All-Terrain Mega Caliber 6. The vehicle is described as, it has a Mega Caliber 6 laser cannon on its back. Think of it as a mobile heavy artillery walker that's way bigger than the standard AT-AT. And while an AT-AT might move like an elephant, the AT-M6 has more simian-like gait, which helps it stabilize the cannon. Secondly, we have the First Order Dreadnought, which is described as, the Dreadnought is a mandatory 4-class warship as to a normal orbital autocannons, which can be used for larger scale bombardments. It measures 7,669,772 meters in length. And the First Order Dreadnought also has 24-point defense anti-aircraft cannons on its dorsal surface. I think these vehicles are OP as fuck, and it creates for a very big menace when it comes to the First Order. The First Order already has established itself as a very big menace with its leader and its organization and all, and they do have already big, gigantic, powerful, effective vehicles on their arsenal. But these are just scary to look at. When you look at these descriptions and then you actually see these photos and go into the close-ups of the cannons and all and see the details on it, the design is just tremendous. I love how much we can go into the behind the scenes and the making of films when we see things like this. And I love that it is Star Wars, of course, but I think that we will see a lot of these two particular cases of vehicles in action. At least the AT-M6 will be seen in one gigantic set piece in which it will wreak havoc. And I think the Dreadnought will be seen throughout, maybe more than one Dreadnought, but I think these vehicles are tremendously well designed. I think they can bring a lot into the action of the film, and I cannot wait to see them in action, the visual effects and all, to see how they are used, to see what the attacks look like. I honestly cannot wait to see The Last Jedi in general, but this even makes me more excited. Let me know what you think. If any of you understand of artillery and Warcraft and everything, let me know what you think of how these two vehicles work, and what do you want to see from these two vehicles. Do you want to see them exploding with the Resistance? Do you want to see the Resistance kick their ass just like that? Let me know in the comments, and let me know what is your favorite Star Wars vehicle in general. Let's go back to DC and go into another project involving the Joker. It's being reported by The Hollywood Reporter that writer-directors Glenn Ficarra and John Requa are in talks to write, direct, and produce an upcoming Joker and Harley Quinn film. The duo is reportedly in final negotiations for the project, which is also referred to as Gotham City Sirens, with Jared Leto and Margot Robbie set to reprise the roles of the Joker and Harley Quinn respectively. The movie is reportedly to be made after a Suicide Squad sequel, which is now being fast-tracked for some reason and is being described as a criminal love story. According to Deadline, however, David Ayer, who was supposed to helm the Joker and Harley Quinn film, is out, and Robbie is on board to executive produce. Now this is pretty damn interesting because yet in the same week another project involving the Joker that is not Suicide Squad 2, even though we had news of the Suicide Squad 2 movie. It proves that it's just a mess. It makes it look like a mess, at least. Again, I'm not in those meetings, I'm not inside, I have no contact with WB, so I don't know what is going on. I can only speculate, and it makes it look like it is a mess, because they have no slate, and now they're trying to cram in these random, seemingly random, projects that don't focus on their main heroes, or at least on the heroes that they should be worrying about to form a Justice League, or a broad roster of the Justice League. Beyond Aquaman, The Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, they should be focusing on that. And I understand how you want to focus on the villains. It's DC, of course you want to focus on the villains. But it just seems so random, and it seems to be such a department in terms of the filmmakers themselves on what they established the Joker and Harley Quinn as, and even now that they want to make another Suicide Squad movie. It's so intriguing, but at the same time frustrating. I am damn curious because Crazy Stupid Love is great. I love that film. Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell, Emma Stone, Julianne Moore, Kevin Bacon. Watch that film if you haven't. But it creates for a lot of questions, and that is, what is their direction? What is their timeline? What is their schedule? How much of these two characters with these two actors will we see? When and where and how? What does this movie entail for the rest of the universe? Will it be before Suicide Squad? In the midst of Suicide Squad 1 and 2? When will this movie take place? What other characters will it involve? Because before, it was supposed to be Gotham City Sirens, and that would have been Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman or Huntress. There would have been discussions of other female characters, but the Joker was barely mentioned. He was going to be in there, but I believe he was going to play the villain, or at least in some way, shape, or form be opposed to where Harley Quinn stood. And right now it just seems like they are changing everything about every single movie that they are trying to put out, and that is just very fucking weird to me. I love Bonnie and Clyde, it's one of the greatest films ever made, and Criminal Love Story sounds like a ripe recipe for a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, but I need to know what it entails before actually being excited or not about a Joker Harley Quinn movie. But let me know your thoughts. What do you want this movie to actually be about? Do you want it to be set before Suicide Squad, after Suicide Squad 2 maybe? And what do you think about this being the new take on the Gotham City Sirens movie? Do you want this as that movie, or would you like to see this movie and see Gotham City Sirens as a completely different project? And now for the second most controversial topic of the week. In an interview with KCRW, the Batman director Matt Reeves, who directed Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes, was reported to have said that the Caped Crusader solo film would be completely divorced from the DCEU. Here's what Reeves said. Well, I have a vision for a way to do something with the character, Batman, that feels like it resonates with me personally, and a perspective that can grow out into other things. He also said, when they, Warner Brothers, approached me, what they said was, look, it's a standalone, it's not part of the extended universe. And it's not part of the extended universe are pretty clear words to me. Now, we must be careful with this, just like Matt Reeves should have been careful about what we say and what we mean to say. Because in this day and age, if you're talking about movies, and if you're talking about something that is labeled the DC Extended Universe, you must be careful using these words. But since this report, Reeves has taken to Twitter to clarify his remarks and confirm the film will be a part of the DC Cinematic Universe. He just meant that it won't have any ties to other films. Just to be clear, he said, of course, in caps, the Batman will be part of the DC Universe. Batman will be Batman. In my comments from a while back about not being part of the DCEU, I was talking about the Batman being a story specifically about Batman, not about the others in the universe, that wouldn't be filled with cameos resurfacing other stories. All I meant was that it would be a Batman story. Alright, I'm happy to know this. I'm happy that he clarified what he meant to say, because it's dangerous to use words. We all make mistakes from time to time. We all use a certain word here or there, and then we realize, oh, I can see how other people might not understand what I meant or misunderstand what I meant by saying this or utilizing this or that word. But I'm happy that Reeves clarified this, and I'm happy that Batman is set in the DCEU, or at least his Batman-directed film. Although, according to some other reports this week, this still does not clarify if Ben Affleck will still play the Batman. And I am not very happy about that. I am not happy about not knowing if Ben Affleck will play the Batman, because I love his interpretation of the character and I want to see oh so much more from him. And I think we deserve to see much more from him, and I think Ben Affleck deserves to be Batman as long as he wants to. He deserves to direct. He couldn't direct for whatever reason. We are not talking about that. I think Ben Affleck needs and should be the Batman in these movies. If they have Jeff Johns, and if Jeff Johns is in as higher a position as they claim him to be in, Jeff Johns would schedule things. Jeff Johns would have a schedule. He would say, we're going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and that's it. If they were with a clear mindset, they would stick to their word that they said on Comic-Con. It's online. We are going to stop for now. Let's focus on Justice League, which has issues with reshoots and all of their own. And after Justice League, we are going to refocus and schedule ahead for the future. And now it just seems like they are adding shit and wood to the fireplace. Because, look, I don't hate DC. I like 3 of the 4 DC cinematic universes. One of them is a masterpiece. One of them, I love it. One of them, I like the extended cut. Makes me think it's a good film. I don't like one of them. I want these movies to be great. I love these characters ever since I was a child. I grew up with these characters. These characters, in part, shaped and molded who I am today. So I want these movies to be great. I just want this studio to have a path to follow. Don't have tunnel vision. Don't be close-minded to other possibilities, but Plan ahead. Don't just make it seem to the haters out there who feed on this mess and use it to have a jab at other people who love and want to love these movies. Don't make it seem like you're taking one step onwards and two steps backwards, because that is bad for your image, WB and DC. It doesn't look good on you, and it makes these announcements eventually not able to create excitement and hope amongst fans. But it's something that we could speculate on several videos with all these news, just the DC ones, not even the Star Wars ones. Let me know what you think, beautiful geekies. What do you think of all these news from DC together? What do you think of Matt Reeves and his words on the Batman? You gotta be careful just with these interviews. It was an accent. We are all human. I can understand it. But what's the thing with a Batman? You have done so many Batman movies. He's your crown jewel, DC. I don't understand what the problem is with even putting this movie on set and start making it. And now let's go to the most controversial topic of this video, and that is James Cameron versus Wonder Woman. In an interview with The Guardian, James Cameron was asked about the success of Wonder Woman, and he replied, "All of the self-congratulatory back-patting Hollywood's been doing over Wonder Woman has been so misguided. She's an objectified icon, and it's just male Hollywood doing the same old thing. I'm not saying I didn't like the movie, but to me, it's a step backwards. Sarah Connor was not a beauty icon. She was strong, she was troubled, she was a terrible mother, and she earned the respect of the audience through pure grit. And to me, the benefit of characters like Sarah Connor is so obvious. I mean, half the audience is female." Before I go on into what Patty Jenkins replied, I don't think it's right to attack James Cameron for this. It's his opinion, and in all honesty, he did not talk shit about the movie. He shared his opinion about how people in Hollywood are reacting to Wonder Woman and to its success and how they are taking the success of Wonder Woman. He did not talk shit about the movie. He said he liked the movie, and if anything, he's criticizing how people are creating and how people are celebrating the success of Wonder Woman. I do not agree with him with what he says about Wonder Woman and how he compares it to Sarah Connor. I think it's completely wrong. I don't think Wonder Woman is objectified because she is beautiful. She is strong-willed, she's independent, she's a force to be reckoned with physically and psychologically, and she's a role model, an exemplary role model for everyone, not just women. I don't give a shit if you're a great female character or a great male character. I give a shit if you're a good character, and Wonder Woman is and was a great character in her movie. And by the way, James Cameron, since when is Sarah Connor not hot? Last time I checked, I was enamored by Sarah Connor when I watched the Terminator movies when I was a kid. So let's just keep it at that. Now again, do I think it's right to attack James Cameron? No, I don't. You know why? Because the movie didn't just come out and James Cameron took to the internet or picked up a camera and shot a video himself talking shit about Wonder Woman. The movie was out for months, it's already out of theaters, it's about to hit Blu-ray next month, and James Cameron was asked about his opinion, and he shared his opinion. Again, he didn't talk shit about Wonder Woman in any single sense of the word. And that's why I think it's wrong to attack James Cameron. Again, I think he's wrong. Again, I love Terminator, I love Wonder Woman, I love James Cameron as a director. I think it's wrong to attack him, and I think he's wrong in what he said. But he did not talk shit or attack Patty Jenkins or Wonder Woman or Gal Gadot or anyone or women in general. But let's go on to Patty Jenkins' reply. Patty Jenkins has a few thoughts on Cameron's ideas on what does and does not constitute a strong female character. In a statement she posted to her Twitter the following: James Cameron's inability to understand what Wonder Woman is or stands for to women all over the world is unsurprising, as, though he is a great filmmaker, he is not a woman. Strong women are great. His praise on my film Monster and our portrayal of a strong yet damaged woman was so appreciated, but if women have to always be hard, tough, and troubled to be strong, and we aren't free to be multidimensional or celebrate an icon of women everywhere because she is attractive and loving, then we haven't come very far, have we? I believe women can and should be everything just like male lead characters should be. There is no right and wrong kind of powerful woman, and a massive female audience who made the film a hit it is can surely choose and judge their own icons of progress. That is a fine response by all means, in my opinion. Patty Jenkins did not attack James Cameron. just like he did not attack her. However, just like I think James Cameron is wrong on one point, I think Patty Jenkins is wrong on one point, and that is when she addresses that James Cameron cannot understand powerful women or strong women because he is not a woman. Let's look at James Cameron's plethora of films where he has, general rule, fantastic female characters. There are many people who can even argue that James Cameron's female characters are even better than Wonder Woman. I personally prefer Sarah Connor to Wonder Woman. Does that take anything away from Wonder Woman and how strong and how good a role model she is? No! James Cameron, you are wrong about saying that Wonder Woman is an objectified icon because she's beautiful. Sarah Connor is fucking beautiful. They are different characters in different movies that have different tones and are movies about what they are about in different ways. So these are two different opinions by two very respectful directors and people, and I respect and love their work, both of them. And I think on one point of everything they said, they are wrong in this instance or the other. I think Patty Jenkins is wrong in assuming or saying James Cameron doesn't understand women, because look at his calendar of films. Many of them, if not all, have great female characters. And Patty Jenkins has just directed a fantastic female lead character movie, and she has done it before with Monster, which James Cameron praised. So Patty Jenkins saying that kind of takes away what she said. I think this was all just a mess and something that we shouldn't even talk about, because it was just two people sharing their thoughts, and of course people are attacking James Cameron, which I already said I think it's wrong. I will not defend him, but I will not attack him. He was asked about this, and he shared his thoughts. And again, he didn't even criticize the movie itself. He said he liked it. But what do you think? And if I might ask, whose side are you on? And do you like James Cameron movies? Do you like Patty Jenkins movies? Who do you like more? Wonder Woman or Sarah Connor? Yeah, let's have that debate. It's much more fun. It doesn't offend anyone. We don't need to attack anyone. We can just have fun. Wonder Woman versus Sarah Connor. Who wins? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of Wonder Woman and of Terminator T2 Judgment Day, that is now re-released in the US theaters in 3D, and I wish I lived in the US to see one of my favorite movies of all time in theaters. And that is it for the first episode of Movie News. It's a long one, but it will always be a long one because we are accumulating the news from the week on weekends. Let me know your thoughts on all the news I shared, on all the questions I asked on all the topics, and let me know if you want to see anything differently in the Movie News segment. And do you think that we should change the format and have short videos whenever news come out? During the day, I'll just make a short video about them. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the freaking best. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I have a review for the new Netflix original Death Note, directed by Adam Wingard, and tomorrow, the finale of Game of Thrones, so I can't wait to see you there. And until then, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so we can be geeky. United!